7.2 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's, and 80,000 of them are in Connecticut. That's a stunning number, and no matter how much we try, we advance, we're still trying to get that number down to zero. But new data is out today with the Alzheimer's Association Facts and Figures report. Here to talk about it, hey, I think there's a Kristen around here. Yes. She's right here.
Hello.
Kristen Cusato, Communications Director of the Alzheimer's Association. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Always, because we always start with talking about, the number of people that have been afflicted with Alzheimer's. But the number that I always kind of focus on, and maybe we should, are the caregivers, because they're really feeling the brunt, the effects, and a lot more pain sometimes, right?
Absolutely. This is an entire family disease, right?
Yeah.
This doesn't just affect the person with the disease. And what we're finding with our new facts and figures is that the 130,000 plus caregivers who are unpaid family members typically are really self-reporting about 30% of them depression. And that's not something that is a surprise, but it's actually coming forth and saying, hey, this is a sad thing, losing my person little by little. It affects my work, it affects this, it affects that.
Because they're, somebody, as you said, somebody else is living it, a family member, but they're watching it. And it's like watching almost like a slow-moving car crash. You can't stop it, you're just watching it, and you're just trying to hold on, right?
And you have to hold on, and you have to make sure they have a good quality of life. So that's why we always encourage people to never do this alone. As a caregiver, reach out. We have support groups, we have education classes, anything to make it easier on the caregiver and the person living.
All right, so new facts and figures come out, kind of like the state of the state with the Alzheimer's Association. What did we learn?
We have learned some interesting things that, we had a couple of years ago starting, and we came on the show to talk about it, medications. There are actual medications now. 30, 40, 50 years of research led to these treatments for those in the early stages that go up and remove the amyloid, which is a hallmark of the disease, giving people more time. That's for those in the early stage. So we're learning that 4 out of 5 people want to know they have the disease early. 9 out of 10 would take potentially a medication that could slow the decline. So that's exciting.
We should point out, as you see the stats on the screen, this is not preventative. This is dealing with prolonging the lifespan of somebody that's been afflicted.
Keeping you at a place where you are more likely to live longer independently. Maybe you can drive.
Be
cognizant. Maybe you can drive longer, you can work longer. So it's kind of keeping this place, almost plateauing you for a little while. It doesn't work for everybody, but it's exciting that people are getting knowledge about it and they are interested. So what are we working on? Like accessibility, right? Cost, making sure insurance covers all the tests.
Well, let's talk about that because, you mentioned these treatments. What are the new ones, and are they accessible to the public yet?
Right. So there are thousands of people, probably across the country, probably several hundred here in Connecticut, taking one of the 2 drugs, Leqembi or Kisunla. They're infusion medications. They are once a month or twice a month, and a lot of people with the disease, early stages of the disease, are taking these and hopefully getting some more time back.
Well, we talk about 8.2 million people, so dare I ask, is there a wait for these trials, or what are we talking?
So these drugs are happening, across the country. They're kind of a slower rollout with the more recent drug, which is Kisunla, because it just was approved last year, I believe, in 2024. But here's what's really interesting. You were talking about prevention, and I think this is quite fascinating. All the clinical trials that are going on right now, there are trials going on specifically at Yale, looking at those 2 drugs I just talked about, as a preventative. So imagine you have the plaques, but you don't have symptoms yet. You take this drug to prevent the symptoms from coming forth, like a statin tries to prevent a heart event. This maybe you take these medications to prevent the onset of symptoms. That is fascinating to me. They're also looking at some of these drugs as maybe a pill form or a shot, subcutaneous. This is an amazing time for research.
And it's funny, when you say that, it's like it gives you so much optimism that the cure, to help is closer and closer and closer, but it is still baby steps.
We're talking about managing this disease. This is the hope in the future, Matt, right? So that you get this, you find it, you get the test, the PET scan, you find out you have the amyloid plaques. You go on these medications, plus you add lifestyle interventions, which are critical. And then you can maybe manage this disease.
And to bring this to a close, as you said at the onset of this, if you are a caretaker, if you are helping, and if you are feeling the heavy stress, the depression, get help yourself.
Get help and call our 800 number. You guys are so nice helping us. Always put that out there. There it is on the screen, 800-272-3900. Any time of the day or night.
She knows how to do it. We'll link you to that number at fox61.com.
Sorry, I never let you talk, but I know I have so much to say.
Listen, pull the string. It's almost like she's been on TV before. Kristen Cusato, always a pleasure to see you.